All right, time to do chores. The big project today is going to be the goat feeder finally. I have all of the things I need to get it done. It's a cool day. It's time. No more hay waste, right? Is that even possible with goats? I guess we'll find out. I'm finally ready. I think, I hope. It takes so long to get ready for a project, doesn't it? But tape measure, pencil, gloves, what else? But this is something too. My lovely feeder here, they finally broke off one of the arms of it, and I think that happened just maybe last week. So it was like the final straw, the proof that I gotta get working on this. You guys ready for me to have a feeder for you? All the boys over here are saying, yeah, let's get a feeder going. Yeah. Actually, they probably could care less. So, okay. All right, let's go. The first thing, I guess we'll cut him. Get the sawhorse to set up and get that cut. That's the start. Here we go. Dance. That was inappropriate. What's going on, goaties? What's going on? Yeah? This is what they're thundering across. Who is that dropping across my bridge? I have to go get an extension cord really quick. We're gonna see what naughty goats do when I'm away. Maybe they're leaving, but we'll see. If you own goats, you know they're mischievous. They can get into all sorts of trouble. I think the goaties did something naughty. That'll be interesting to see when I edit this. Stinker goats. Our 2 sections done. We're ready. Well done. Cut. Okay, so now I've got to find a pitchfork and clean out all this old hay that's down here so I can start and keep going. It's amazing what a workout this is, and it's amazing how much hay goats waste. The hardest part about this is that I have to build it with the fence, this fence behind me on because of the goats on the other side, which does make it more challenging. I don't know. There's probably some way I could get them in a different place, but that wouldn't be easy either. So hopefully I can get this to work with them still in the pen and getting this up. How's it looking? Is it making sense? Is that gonna work? I've got the initial boxes built. It's pretty easy, except that I had to clean out all the hay, the wasted hay, before I even worked, and which really just illuminates that there is a foot of hay and poop that I am standing on that the goats have wasted. Now, this is the next phase. The next phase is these boards are going to be the boards that catch, you know, the hay that slides down, so they can't just drag it out or easily paw it out. And hopefully this is enough. And it's right now I'm gonna have to experiment with how wide to make it, because I don't want it too wide, because then they'll be laying in it. But if it's too shallow, that could cause problems too, and the hay will just end up out anyway. So this is, again, an experiment. I think I'm gonna go get some hay and see what it looks like as it slides through. Okay, so here's the first hay. You know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking of all the ways the ghosts are still going to figure out how to waste the hay. Faith is trying it out. Is it too small? So many questions. Day by day, I kept working on it and just plugging away, but it's amazing how time flies. Days turn into months. A month later, I'm back at this. A month later, finally. Can't believe this. And guess what? These stinker goats have broken this board here. They found there's a weak point right here where there was like a knot, and they pushed on it and cracked it. And the roosters here have been roosting here at night and making a huge, horrible mess. So I have to get the roof on it and then figure out how to make it so that they still can't roost on top of that, because once the roof's on, they can still roost up there and poop down the roof, and I don't want that either. I got to get this done. It's like essential. This is one of those frogs that I need to eat and get done, so I stop thinking about it. Plywood sheet in half. I'm using that half to make the lid here. And so I'm just going to use these hinges to hinge it onto this top board. I hope it works. We'll see. As shown in this one, you can see that I put a 2x4 in the middle of it. I actually did that in both of them so that when they're pushing on it, they can't break them. I'm testing out an idea here. So you can see I have a board that was holding up the roof so she could eat from the top. And you can tell now that her back is holding it up a bit. I don't know. We'll have to see if that's something I'll do. Well, let's see if, what did you know? This might not work. I don't know. What do you think, Faith? Why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I think of this? What in the world was I thinking? Of course that'll happen. Now I've got to create a new solution to my next problem. Do you ever just have one of those moments where you're like, duh, of course this would happen. What was I thinking? Yeah, I'm right there right now. You probably all were, as watching me build this, thinking, duh, can you not see what's going to happen? So now I'm designing how to make it so they can't jump up and jump over. It's happening. Bill swears that 2 years ago we cleaned up this hay, and I'm not quite so sure. I know last year we didn't, and there was a huge pile. It gets so hard to clean up the hay in the winter when it falls down and it's snowing, and then goats tramp it down, and then it freezes, and it's all just this frozen solid mass of hay and snow and ice. And then this is what happens. It piles up and piles up and piles up because they waste so much. We're finally getting it cleared out. It's wonderful. I'm so excited. Before the snow starts to come this year, it'll be done. My poor old feeder bit the dust. I was gonna try to take it apart, and I think I can still reuse some of the boards, but it's done for. But you know what the good thing is? I won't be chasing goats around and around it when I'm trying to catch them. When they know that you're gonna give them something that they don't want, they will run from you, especially Zoe. So we end up going around and around and around in circles. That'll be nice to not have that problem anymore. So this back here, we're planning to expand the garden area. This fence here, we're gonna move or do a new fence right in along here. And so we're gonna actually move and have like our corn and beans and things, and maybe like my squashes and pumpkins in this area. So that's the plan for next year. Bigger garden. What do you goaties think? What's happening? What's happening, goaties? Is that really scary? What's happening? Yeah, is it scary? What do you guys think? Huh? What do you guys think? Come and say hi to me. I see them using their new feeder. The board there is not resting on their backs. I have it. There's a 2x4 that's holding it up, just big enough so that they can stick their heads in on top. They seem to prefer that. The bigger ones do. We had a bit of trouble with our 70-year-old tractor, but we got it running again and got this finished and cleaned up. Now go to work, Poop, fertilize this field. I just measured for this little triangular area here. So obviously this is going to be cut off. I just needed to get it up there to measure it so I could cut it. But I'll show you over here. So here's the mostly completed feeder here. But this is what the other side looks like. And what I found is that 2 goats can get their heads wedged into here. And then guess what? They can't get out. So I need to close that up. And honestly, they drag out a lot of hay out of these holes here. So I need to close them up so there's less likelihood of them dragging it out as much here. It's just these open ends always seem like they are able to drag out a lot. This is also such a sad thing. The guineas and a few odd chickens, they roost up here, which is fine. I don't mind they roost in the tree, but oh, that's so frustrating. Chickens, why? What a relief it is to have that poop cleaned up. Now I need to get to work and get this finally finished. Right now I'm going to be working on the end of the feeders so that they can't stick their heads through. Once I get this on, I'll feel much better about having that closed up so I don't have to come out and rescue goats from being stuck. I'm adding a finishing touch here as I'm connecting the 2 pieces together. Here is the feeder with the start of the fence above it. While I was working, these guys were having fun. Well, I know that Bill was having fun because he was behind some horses. And the kids, of course, well, they made this into an adventure as well. But this will be so nice as it's spread out on this pasture. I really believe that it will give it exactly what it needs to give it a boost of fertility. And so thank you, goats, for the poop. And yes, thank you for the wasted hay. It always gives a different perspective when you look at things from further away. And once I get this fence done between the goats, the boy goats and the girl goats, I can finally open up this panel and the boys will be able to eat out of their new feeder. I hope they like it. Are you boys excited? That'll be nice to have that out of the way. I've used the feeder a bit, but now it's time to really test it out with the full feeding for the goats. So we're going to bring in some hay and put it in that feeder and see how it works and what the goats think. We'll see what kind of a mess they can make. Or maybe this was the most brilliant thing I've ever made for them. One thing I haven't added yet is a little clasp that will hold these doors open while I'm feeding them so that it's not being propped up by my head. That will be a needed addition in the future. On that bottom box that catches the hay, I did add a 2x4 all the way around so that it would give it added strength when the goats are standing on it. This field is spread and ready for some snow. I did take apart the old feeder. Goodbye, feeder. Thank you for your service. The goats seem to love it, and the only thing I wish is that I could show this to you in all its perfection without chicken poop on it. But, well, this is real life, so we're going to go with it and be happy that the goats are wasting less hay. After I added the fence on top, I did need to add 2 boards on each side because they still could leap over the sides of it. And they really do love the option that they can stick their heads in up on top. Well, that's another project done. Until the next one. See you later.